That's a good start. That's good. We leave that in. Okay.
You got
No. It's fine.
It's for the outtakes.
Okay.
We should do some outtakes.
I think we have done enough. We should have filmed how we filmed the podcast. That would have been the outtake, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But it actually fits very well in the episode because today we are going to talk about learning again. How to learn with AI, how to use AI, and how to adopt it in the company. Right? A few topics. I suggest we start with how we personally use it, and then as the second part we can talk about the company, right? So,
I think there's not like a standard path to it, right?
Never.
Because it's so fresh.
Yeah.
And it's like a personal journeys we can share here what we use AI for.
Yeah, and in the company as well. I mean, everyone who's telling you they have a plan, it's maybe a lie. Of course, there are some standards and frameworks, like using prototypes we can look at, but yeah, we will talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's start with personal use of AI.
Okay. So I have to confess, I really love it. I love to have ChatGPT for like everything.
Yeah.
Like my favorite use of lately is if I have to configure something in the Google Suite or have to find something on my camera, how to adjust it. I just ask ChatGPT for it.
Yeah.
And he gives me it gives me a step-per-step instruction guide.
Yeah.
Which I find so helpful. I'm so much faster than going through all the menus looking, is this what I mean? No. Actually, I think it would be brilliant for grandparents.
True.
They wouldn't have to ring up.
That's true. You could build an agent, like my grandparents call me, yeah?
Yeah. You could automate that or give them an iPad and ChatGPT and say, if you have a question, run it through.
That's a good idea. It's a really good idea. There were a few things, right? You said him, and then you said it.
Yes.
And I just remembered a few days ago you said, it's not a him, it's an it.
Yeah, it's an it.
Okay, so for me it's a him. Maybe for you it's a girl. I don't know, or an it. Yeah. I will say him and it. It's fine.
We call it chatty, right?
We call it chatty, yeah. Not only we, I heard a lot of people call it chatty.
Okay.
Yeah. And what you mentioned here is that we reduce the friction.
Yeah.
This is the concept, right? This is good, and it's also bad. I feel it's bad for learning sometimes. So for everyday tasks, it's nice because I'm so over cookie banners on websites and whatever we have, right? And you have to click and you want a recipe for how to air fry your chicken. I don't want to scroll down and read history of your grandma to go to the recipe. I need the temperature. I need, that's what I need. So it reduces friction, which is perfect. So yeah, what else? Before we go into the learning part, what else are you using it for?
Oh no, that you said recipes, it reminds me. I had a recipe from, this blog posts with recipes where you have like a lengthy story about
exactly, that's
the
what I mean.
And
that's
blah,
what
blah,
I mean.
Blah, how I eat, blah, blah, blah. Before then at the bottom, maybe there you have finally then your recipe.
Yep.
What ChatGPT helped me do, extract from that lengthy page the recipe itself.
Yep.
So the ingredients, what I have to do, put it on a nice PDF that I could just print out, take to my kitchen and just cook with.
Yeah.
Really, really smart thingy that it did. It also lately, Patterson and Findus, like the children's book series. And I said, okay, help me with the recipe for the gingerbread that they refer to in Patterson and Findus.
Oh, really? Okay.
So it had to dig deep into what are the Swedish traditions, what are traditional recipes for gingerbread, and what would Patterson and Findus then eat? Because, they live outside on a farm, they are growing their stuff on their own, and it created me this beautiful recipe, traditional one, and it illustrated it with Patterson and Findus images around it. It was so cute. It was really, really, really cute.
And then you used it for Mia to talk about it and to bake it and to do it.
We were baking together. So we used it for that. Yeah.
That's really everyday AI use, right?
Yeah.
I'm also using it we already know the basics, right? We need to give the ChatGPT a prompt, a context, whatever. So the context I'm mostly using ChatGPT is not to create things, but to review, to ask. So for example, I had to create a workshop game for one of our clients. I wanted to create a memory. I use Gemini for it, because the banana model is better at this point in time and it's quicker. But I use it to generate a set of memory cards, so we can use it in the workshop and play. Like 5 years ago, I would have to go through stock photos and find similar ones, because the memory has to look somehow similar, right? Because if you have two distinct pictures, if you have a blue one, the red ball, it's easier for you to remember. But if the memory cards is somehow similar but not alike, it's a bit more tricky.
Yeah.
So you have to give the generation model kind of an intro there, and it will generate you the memory cards, which is nice.
But what you just said, I mean, giving it something that you wrote and letting it review it. Totally agree that you should never have ChatGPT start from scratch and write you something, because there's really the soul missing in the words, and you feel that, you read that. And I lately got really also a bitter feeling around having too many review cycles with ChatGPT. Because I feel it sucks the soul right out of it again, with this hint to get everything perfected and polished up and stuff. And I feel like the intermediate. I love to have it go through over the first draft, and then see what it gives me and critically review the suggestions, and then decide on my own what I take and what I leave.
And I just opened Wikipedia just released a few days ago an article. It's called "Signs of AI Writing." It's lengthy. We all know that the dash is a sign of AI, and we cannot make ChatGPT let go of the dash, the M dash. But there's other parts where, as you say, it will always sound the same. It's editorialism somehow, right? It brings it into a format which will always look the same. So it's not good for coming up with an individual version of your text, right? But it's really nice, like looking at the Wikipedia Signs of AI Writing, you can already see, and you can then detect. But it can be very helpful, for example, if you write an email and you're not a native speaker and you want to have like more formal versions, and sometimes say, how can I put this more formally, or this one can help.
Well, actually, I had a client who said, well, I'm so thankful that we have Gemini now, because I'm rewriting all my emails with Gemini because people used to not understand me correctly.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I hope that it's now clearer what I want to say.
Maybe it helps. So yeah, we can use it. We can reduce friction in every day. It's almost open all the time with me. So I could have a separate screen with ChatGPT or with any other model. I'm not promoting ChatGPT. This podcast is not yet sponsored by ChatGPT.
But we're open for that.
We're open for that. Just send inquiries. Send an inquiry. That's good. So this is how we use it. I mean, there's multitude of tasks and whatever. In the work context, it's maybe a bit different. You have to check with your privacy and IT security department. You should use a version which is audited by them. But we don't want to go there now. I just want to know, do you use ChatGPT for learning? And if yes, how do you?
For learning? For research, actually.
For research.
If that falls under it. So if I have the lengthy text of a research document from the university, I sometimes give it to it and say, okay, what's the conclusion with regards to this specific part? Or do you know similar studies that point conclusions?
So you try to find sources as well, right?
Yeah, that's really, really helpful. And also, to have like the summaries to see how it abstracts it differently than probably you get from the text itself.
Yeah. I mean, what ChatGPT did, they introduced the study mode recently. It's not rolled out everywhere, so maybe if you try to find the option. So there's an option and you can go into study mode. And the idea is that now we have a lot of students using ChatGPT. And if you, for example, I have a few examples, but if you want to learn for an exam, you have a biology class and you want to learn for an exam, if you would ask ChatGPT, that would give you the direct response, right? If you're in study mode, you can have it act like a teacher. And I have asked yesterday, if we're in study mode, what kind of options do you have? And he has the flashcards or Q&A mode. So remember we had the small flashcards when we were studying, right, and writing out stuff. So you can have him like like a teacher, try to answer these kind of flashcards. You can go into deep dive mode. So you can say, I'm interested in gardening, for example. I feel you will have gardening soon. I had this example yesterday. I want to have like tomatoes in my garden. I want to learn about gardening, and you can get a direct answer from him. Or you can deep dive and say, okay, if you want to plant tomatoes, use the shadow here, do this and that, right? And then you can also have an exam. So I'm preparing myself to be a hiking instructor. Here's my class material. Can you prepare an exam for me? Or I'm doing a driving test. Also, they have built in a Pomodoro study partner. So you have 25 minutes focus sessions. They keep track of it, which I love. I love Pomodoro, right? 25 minutes work, 5 minutes break. And they have a Socratic dialogue, which they guide you by asking questions to discover the concepts yourself.
Nice.
So, and then you can do this already in a chat, right? But you could also switch to study mode. I learn a bit differently. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a project. So for example, we wanted to do some search engine AI optimization for our website. I describe him the context and I say, you are my development instructor because I want to learn how to develop, how to configure, etc. So I'm working through the project with ChatGPT. And then
it's like your assistant.
It's my assistant, but also a little bit of a teacher. Yeah, because I'm saying, okay, I want to create a plugin for the website. How do I do this? How do I set up myself? What I realized is one aspect which is really important is critical thinking and long-term thinking. So if you prompt correctly, ChatGPT will give you the direct answer and a quick solution. But in software development or also in project management, you almost need to take a step to the next level. What could potentially happen? Could we have more users? Could we have more stakeholders involved, etc.? So I reviewed the output, and more than once I found that he took a shortcut. Also in the configuration of the system, which I would not have, if I would not have critically asked myself, I wouldn't have detected. For example, for search engine optimization, he suggested me to do a separate field to fill out the excerpt for the page, right? And I said, why don't we use the existing field? Because I knew in the system there's an existing field which we already fill out. And he said, oh yeah, that's a good idea. It's even more elegant solution. I'm like, why are you not suggesting the elegant solution in the first place? So what I'm saying is like, if you work with it, you still need to get this critical thinking. But now I'm asking you, if you're a newbie in this field, how do you get the critical thinking?
Yeah. I feel like it's something that you cannot really do. That you should just use it as an assistant. If you're the master, then. But I'm not sure if this is really working to have it program something for you based on your idea if you're not able to read code.
Maybe it will, but then it will be only for that purpose. But if you don't have to,
you cannot have the environment and plug it into it, and
maybe it will come there, but it's more like I feel that. Give me one field of expertise, whichever. Give me anything like.
I don't know, airplanes.
Airplanes. Okay, so you want to fly an airplane. Maybe you want to be a flight attendant, right? So you can use ChatGPT to prepare the exam questions and whatever. And then you start to at your first day, you will have all the theoretical knowledge, and then there's a passenger who behaves badly. What happens? You have maybe experienced colleagues who will teach you, but you will get the emotion. Maybe you will shout, you will do a mistake, and suddenly you will learn. So you will do a mistake, and you will do an error, and you will learn in real life, right? And then you can go back, you can go to ChatGPT or your colleagues and say, how do I do non-violent communication? And then you deep dive into this topic, right? But what I'm saying is real life experience, I don't think can be replaced by only in this tool, right?
Yeah.
And making, so my claim is, how do we still raise a generation with critical thinking, having these AI tools which give you answers ready? Like, how do we raise them?
My assumption is actually that they will create stuff differently. They will not so much rely on having the short, fast answers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you think about your teenage years, it was all about being individualistic, finding your own personality. And if you were just relying on something that a machine gives you, an algorithm puts out, it's not individualistic at all. It doesn't represent yourself. So my assumption would be that there will be a trend in the reverse.
Yep. Yeah.
Going back and creating stuff on your own, with your own hands, with your own brain. I don't know. Yeah.
I'm still advocating for the made by human mark. So not only classifying what is made by AI, but made by human. Like it was made in Germany, was
like a trademark.
Like a trademark. Yeah. So, and you see this in the creative space that a few people they start to even this ChatGPT. Yeah. They say, oh no, this podcast was produced without the help of ChatGPT. This podcast now is produced without the help of ChatGPT, right? But maybe we give him some feedback on creating on reviewing and creating a structure, and then reviewing our podcast summary or something like this, right?
Well, what I would say is it should always be an assistant only. It should not be replacing our creative parts that we ourselves.
Yeah. It should make us room for creativity.
Yeah, it should support us, but not replace us.
So, is it just another technology?
It's a great new technology. It really is. It opens us new worlds as we see it already.
Yeah.
It makes stuff that was complicated so much more easy for us to understand, especially if we just have to do stuff once or twice.
Yeah.
Just to figure out how to get there quickest. But I mean, for example, if you are an artist, you wouldn't want to be replaced with a machine.
No.
It's like, yeah.
No, but I'm struggling. I mean, it's a philosophical question, but how do we keep people? Like when we raise people, like if you see it also in leadership, if you have a junior consultant now, if you think back 10 years, what we had to do is we had to create slides, we had to take minutes. It's a very perfect example. Take minutes of a meeting. Now you can ask Gemini to take minutes of a meeting. Will the person, so what did you learn when you had to, maybe on paper, had to write minutes and then summarize it, go through the review? You had to learn to listen to the conversation and to condense what was important, and your brain was like, oh, this is an action, oh, this is a decision, oh, maybe this is something worth noting, oh, this I should not note. So how do you learn this if you solely rely on the technology? So is it for the people who are educating other people or are leading other people to say, today we're going to take offline notes. Today we have Gemini, but today please take some notes. And especially for people who are new into the role, also to force themselves and to say, I'm taking maybe Gemini notes, but let me take notes myself.
Actually, what we observed lately is that if people know that Gemini is recording or taking minutes, that they don't act as open as if you would have just had someone take notes.
Yeah.
Because they hold back their opinions, and they openly said it after the recording stopped. They said, oh, now I can say it because Gemini is not listening.
Yep.
So what I did the next time we had that meeting is I wrote a big slide and said, no Gemini taking notes today.
Yeah.
And people said, thank you.
It's also, I mean, this is just an example of a skill. I'm not saying it's very useful to do this every time when you have mastered a skill. It can be nice to have an assistant to record. It's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good fallback scenario as well.
It's a good fallback, but what I'm saying is you have to go through the grind.
You have to have some pain in order to get some reward.
Yeah, hopefully, Hopefully, yeah.
And that's the learning curve, right? You have to stumble to get to do stuff that is kind of boring. I mean, taking minutes is not fun.
Yeah.
But still, it's good for you. Yeah, you reap the benefits if you do it. Yeah.
Just a side note on ChatGPT, they just released that they will open a job platform in 2026. Kind of will be a competitor to LinkedIn. I don't think it will be replaced, but as a side note, there will be an open AI academy. And as you see again, money is made in the ecosystem, right? So there will be a certification for OpenAI. So if people are interested, it's free to sign up. They can go into the OpenAI Academy and learn. I signed up, and I tell you this, I also told you this before. It's a bit paradox because we're recording a video now, but I don't like to learn through videos, you know? And there's a lot of videos and there's transcripts too, but it's funny because how they present the training, it's not very AI training with transcripts.
What would you have expected?
More like a chatbot, like a GPT to learn. Maybe there is, maybe I have not seen it, but like this platform really looked like every learning platform.
Okay.
And you can go through, you can filter stuff, but well, they should build you something for yourself. Like if they, and maybe they will do, but this is instructors. It's human instructors giving instructions on the topic. Say how to write prompts for AI, given by a human person.
Nice.
Maybe it's just the phase 1. Maybe they're working on something in the background. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they built on what has worked for generations, and I don't know. But what you see in that is that they treat that technology not as something revolutionary, but just as a new technology.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
And maybe they collect the data from the training and then they build something out of it. But it's very, very classical so far.
So let's talk about companies.
Yes.
Because companies are spending a lot of money these days on AI tools.
Yeah.
On equipping every one of their stuff with AI, on mandating that they should use it first for every task that they're doing. And there are large programs out there to train people once and put them on the AI train.
Yeah.
What can we do? Because we see that it's not enough. I mean, we still have mostly generational gap here as well, with older generations saying, oh yeah, I tried it once, but I know that I have to refine the prompt afterwards, and it was like, yeah, not what I wanted, so I pulled back. I have to try it again sometime.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still this hurdle. Any ideas what we can do?
I mean, you also talked about AI tools, but it's also about AI projects and AI initiatives. So there is the comic you sent me a few days ago, right? When there's a project and there was an AI on the project drawn, and the guy was asking, what's part of the project? It has been approved. What is it? And it's like, I don't know, the AI is on it. So we have approved it, you know, like it's like a blanco check.
Yeah, all the budget goes into
AI.
With AI is flagged.
Consequently, a lot of people will label their project, their initiative, the thing they want to get through as AI.
Yeah.
Okay, so we invest a lot of millions into the company. But again, is missing is the integration to practical use. Not everywhere. Of course, we're getting there, right? But maybe instead of having this big program, again, it's kind of the vertical integration again, right? So we have the horizontal integration is we have AI, we have everyday AI or AI which we can use every day, and in the bottom, the tools. We have Gemini, we have ChatGPT, whatever. What's the integration? Is the business processes, the projects. How can we rethink the way we do? So how do we turn what we get from the strategy, what we get from the tool bases into something practical? And there, that's what I said in the beginning, we come back to stuff we already know. Prototypes, design workshops, iterations, agile working. There's
training
sessions. There's no magic, right? The magic is, again, finding out how do we change how we work, supported by AI. Yeah. And also here, politics, terminate if something is not adding value. And for that, we have to define what is adding value. Yeah. What is adding value for the internal or external clients, right? So, and then if you take a step back, maybe we should know what is going on in the organization. So maybe we should have a portfolio management of AI parts, right?
Yeah, to bring it all together, all the pieces that have
to bring it all together, and not even starting about the data layer and the rules which have to be in place.
But I still feel that there is.
of AI parts, right?
Yeah, to bring it all together, all the pieces that have
to bring it
AI
all together,
scrolled
to
on
bring
it.
it all together, and not even starting about the data layer and the rules which have to be in place.
But I still feel that there is really a hurdle for many people to start using it and to stick with it and to start learning with it. So what I would opt for is really go and do some stuff with gamifications. Have some silly contests for creating the first images with it.
Yeah.
Just to get a playful touch to it and let people experiment.
Yeah.
To not have to dip their toes into the water, basically. Not to say either I go full on AI or I don't at all. So there's a middle way, and people have to find it.
I also feel we talk about two things. The one thing is that how people adapt it for themselves in a company working. And the other thing is how does the company translate their strategy via prototypes, via projects, via initiatives into useful outcomes, right? Because AI it's a tool. We still have to define requirements. We still have to define objectives. We still have to define a scope. We still have to define what does good look like in the future. Everything has done.
But it's not something that you can do one time for AI.
No.
Because, I mean, it's just a new functionality that you have built into your systems. It's not
Yeah.
like you have this one AI system.
No, of course not.
So you cannot do it once for all, but you have to look at it separately.
You have to look at it for each project, but it's also a flavor to it. So, for example, if you have a project where you do an ERP system and you say we want to use AI for the ERP system because we have, I don't know, millions, billions of dollars in this program, so we have to use AI. First of all, we need to understand what is AI. What does that mean? Do we want to automate the process? For example, if someone orders something in SAP, at the moment someone is doing that by hand, and we automate this, and then we can say it's AI because an AI is taking it in the background. So we're taking it back a level and say what capabilities are we doing in this project, which are linking to what is new with AI. Optimization of supply chain is not AI; it's optimization, right? But I mean, it's similar like to the Peterson and Findus thing you said is how do we creatively combine various sources of information and a new goal? That's more where we can use AI, right?
Yeah.
And also what I talked to a client and she said, we have too many throwaway prototypes. We're doing something with AI and we're ready to throw it away. But then what about the learning? What about the insight? How do we integrate it to the bigger picture? Yeah. And if you talk about foundation model development, we will have a lot of struggles with how to use the data, how to get the data, how to get people to enter the right data, right? Because we still feel, or sometimes people feel that it will be theirs, but if you have it in a relational database, you don't have it in AI. You have to train it, you have to transform it, etc. So there's a lot of layers. If I would have to give one statement is ignore that it's AI and focus on the customer value. Focus on the customer value and then have a sheet and say, this is the capability we expect from AI and then map it, you know?
Yeah, to really see where it can support and where
but the most important thing is to focus first on the problem. And then say, okay, here we have something. And then you have internal centers of excellence and internal people who will build the capabilities, and they will have use cases. They will say, oh yeah, for this organizations we have done this. We like connect the organization, right?
To like a big internal fair and bring people together.
For example, a roadshow, whatever change management, organization change, communication method you want to use.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that it's just a new tool. You have to treat it with the same methods and processes that you did before. Like when digitalization came around.
Yeah.
Basically, look up what you did then, learn from your own playbook, refine it, and apply it.
And use it in your role. If you're a product owner to develop a software and you're asked to create Jira items, build a chat where you define your role, you define the outcomes you want to have, and let ChatGPT write it for you in the first place, against what we recommended, and then review it if that speeds up your process. Because there we don't going for the individuality, we're going for a standardized way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't touch yet that comes to your mind?
If I could, I would really demystify this topic already and say, okay, now we got hyped. We see what ChatGPT can do. We see what capabilities we have. But now let's talk about what the foundations do we need to lay as a company. From a technical side and also from a business side. Where are your true pain points? Where do you have your time wasters? What is the focus you want to do? Are you a scientist organization? Are you a research organization? Your job is to do research, not to do data.
Yeah.
You will generate data, but you don't want to have like data treatments that AI should do for you, that the computer should do for you. You should generate the insight. You should have thinking time.
So again, it's back to assigning it the role of an assistant.
Yeah.
And not giving it the master keys and saying, so now you think.
Now, hopefully we don't do that, but yeah.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. So I think we're closing here today. I got new ideas for what to try with ChatGPT, and I want to try it right away.
Maybe we should order food soon with ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think it's possible, right?
I don't know yet.
It is.
Okay. Perfect.
Thank you very much, Stefan. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Karen. Talk to you later.